Viewer discretion is advised. The following content includes graphic imagery and mature themes.
This isn't for the weak. And yes, feelings will get hurt. Brace yourself and welcome to the Hammer Drops. Hey, welcome back to another episode of the show. Happy Tuesday to y'all that are listening. We had quite the weekend. And, I have some fucking questions. I really do. Because it just blows my mind. We had, if you were underneath a rock, then you don't know that we had the No Kings protest once again, going through all of some small areas, some big cities, and all that stuff, all because we are mad and upset that we don't like the person in office. Okay. So I'm going to get into that because I think this really needs to be addressed because I honestly, I think it's complete and utter horseshit that y'all think that you're doing something. The only thing you guys are fucking doing on the left here, all you're doing is proving to the rest of the world and the rest of America that you guys truly hate America. You truly hate the U.S. citizens. And if it doesn't go by your fucking narrative, you want to kick and scream all the way. And honestly, I'm not speaking for everybody else, but I think over 70 million people who voted for Donald Trump to have what is happening right now with ICE going in, getting these fucking illegal aliens out of here. I think, we're all a little just over it. Okay. I before I go any further in this, first and foremost, I'm going to do a little self-promotion before I go into any more of this, because this is a hot button for me, and I'm sure it's a hot button for a lot of other people out there. And so I'm going to do a little self-promotion. So obviously this episode is going to be available on all your podcast platforms, including YouTube and Rumble. So definitely go make sure you go check that out. Whatever one that you follow, make sure you subscribe, leave me a review, because that's going to help break the algorithms for me and get the truth out to more people. We are also available on all your social media platforms. Facebook and Instagram are the two big ones that I'm most active on, along with TikTok. You can find us there at The Hammer Drops. And again, make sure you follow those pages for updates, news, and anything new that is coming, because we got some big news that will be coming here eventually. So now that my self-promotion is done and out of the way, let's get into this. Okay, so my first question is to the liberals. And the funny thing is, a lot of the liberals that were out there, a bunch of older adults, like baby boomers, stuff like that, that must have forgotten what the Democratic Party was back when they were growing up. Okay, see, back when they were growing up, when baby boomers were growing up, Democratic Party were more like Republicans. They had those beliefs. And since then, the Democratic Party has gone very progressive, very pro-socialist, very pro-communist. And you don't believe me? That's fine. Then answer me this. Why the fuck would the No Kings protest, which, let's be honest, it's a bunch of liberals, why would that be sponsored by the Communist Party of America and a whole bunch of other socialist companies that have those same beliefs? And the Democrats are sitting there side by side with these people. And yet here you are. And this is why I say, by you going to these No Kings protests, you think you're doing good. You think you're doing something. But let me ask you, what did you accomplish? Because Trump's still your president. You basically wasted a Saturday afternoon kicking and screaming and showing the rest of America you don't give a fuck about America. You care more about illegal aliens than you do about the citizens. That's what you proved. That's what you accomplished. Bravo. Bravo. That's all I got to say about that. You guys, oh, see, and here is the thing, okay? And question number two, okay? You all want something to protest. You all want something to get behind. You all want this and that. So where were you when people were losing their jobs because they weren't complying to a certain little shot? Where were you back in 2020 when the government shut down mom and pop places and left the big box companies, billionaire companies, stay wide open? But yet, some mom and pop shops that offer the same fucking things that those big box stores offered were shut down and not making money, and a lot of them had to close because of that. And yet, where were you protesting that? I'll give you, let that sink in. Where were you when those protests were needed the most? I know where you were. You were complying inside your home, wearing your stupid ass masks, believing everything that they were fucking telling you that was working. And then later on down the road, we found out that none of it worked. People were still getting sick, even with that little shot that they got. They were still getting fucking sick, and you were still complying and getting your little boosters and getting more sick and developing more cancer and just other ailments that are tied back to that little shot. But yet, no. We're not going to protest that. We're not going to protest the government shutting down businesses and leaving big box stores open. We're not going to protest that. We're going to protest a guy that was voted in by about 70 million Americans to do exactly what the fuck he's doing and getting rid of the illegal alien, as some of the people in the black neighborhoods would say, the trespassers, getting them out. No, I've touched base on this before on some of my social media, where back when Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, who was the border Caesar, whatever, during that administration time, her one job was to secure that border. And time again, Democrats have always said, "Oh, the border's secure, the border's secure." And yet millions, tens of millions of illegal aliens, fighting aged males, are coming over into our country, bringing drugs, bringing crime, and most of them have been criminals. I mean, you cross the border illegally, it's a crime. Now, if you cross the border illegally to actually seek asylum and going through the process to become a U.S. citizen, this isn't for you. This goes out to those that aren't trying to do it the right way. Okay? So these people were bused to black and brown neighborhoods, mostly black neighborhoods, like in Chicago, mostly on the south side of Chicago, where they've been, where ICE has been. And y'all want to start complaining and bitching about that, thinking they're in there because they're racist. No, motherfuckers. They're there to get rid of the problem. And the problem is the illegal aliens. Okay? See, those illegals, your government has given them tens of thousands of dollars, free room and board, free food, free healthcare, free this, free that, all the while not taking care of the American citizen or taking care of the citizens in those areas that actually fucking need it. And yet you're over here protesting against what is going on. Again, why aren't you protesting that they're in you all spoke up at meetings, town hall meetings and all this shit, complaining about it. And here we are, you complained about it, and now we're here, and Trump is doing his fucking job with ICE, and now y'all want to fucking bitch and complain because the left has told you to, because you want to believe propaganda that they're spewing all over the web, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, whatever, wherever you're getting your fucking news from. You probably watch CNN that has less viewers than fucking a popular reel on Facebook. But you want to believe all them. So your feathers are all ruffled up and you're protesting the fact that ICE is doing their job and that the Trump administration is trying to create peace and trying to bring us back into the 90s, right? The mindset of the 90s. Remember back in the 90s where nobody really fucking cared what color you were? There wasn't any of that. We didn't care. But we also didn't have this problem. Okay? And then you have Antifa running around, and people seem to think, well, Antifa, they're anti-fascist and all of that. They're not organized. The fuck they aren't. Who do you think's paying and busting these people in? Do you think that these people that have absolutely probably no fucking job can afford the equipment that they have been given, let alone the training that they have been given? That makes them organized. Doesn't make them unorganized. So the next question is, where are they getting their money from? Who is supporting them? Well, by the No Kings protest, you can see the list of companies and the socialist movements and the Communist Party of America that is supporting this. I have to sit back and think that these companies and the Democrats and these organizations are the ones that are supporting this. And it's funny because when Biden was in office, not one conservative protested. We took it on the chin. He was our president. We said what we said, yeah, but none of us got out and protested, rioted, burned down cities or nothing like that. It seems like you get a Republican in office and, oh no, we got to do whatever we can to stir the hornet's nest even more and try to create something out of nothing. And that's exactly what you're doing. Creating something out of nothing because you guys need to be on your pedestal. And the funny thing is, it's mostly the older and these white ass suburbanites, whatever you want to fucking call them, white motherfuckers that have absolutely no clue. I think some people really need to go back to school and learn a little bit more history. Okay. And it's funny because in a lot of the comments that I get when I post something, I get, the whole, oh, well, you guys, yeah, it's going to be a Klan rally. Well, newsflash, fuckers. The Klan was started by the Democrats. Okay. The Republican Party formed back then to go against the Democratic Party because the Republicans didn't want slavery and the Republicans wanted to abolish slavery. And yet you want to say that the Republican Party is a Klan rally. You want to sit there and say that the Trump or trumpets or, MAGA, maggots, whatever you want to call them, are a bunch of, cultists. Which is funny because if we were a bunch of cultists, or if they were a bunch of cultists, I should say, not we, because I don't support any political person, let's just say. I may lean conservative, but I don't support any one person. So I want to make that perfectly fucking clear. But you want to call the rest of these people cultists. And yet you're the ones out there showing that you're following a cult without asking any sort of question. You're just following it. And that's all you guys do is follow the next narrative. So is the next narrative going to be now the fact that over the weekend it's, with the ceasefire and over there in between Israel and Palestine or, Hamas. So is the next thing for you guys going to be because Hamas is now, killing Gaza, the people of Gaza? So are you guys going to get back on that free Palestine thing again? I'm assuming that's the next narrative because apparently a bunch of people were all upset that actually happened. And we slowly forgot about Palestine after that ceasefire. It's like completely went out of the news. So I'm assuming that that's going to be your next talking point again. But regardless of that, your No Kings protest proved those things that I said and had absolutely no bearing on what is happening right now today. Nothing. So you wasted a Saturday away from your family, your friends, enjoying your life to think your voice is being heard. When quite honestly, there was no real news coverage of it. There was no fucking, you just saw a bunch of people just, fucking lining up and down the street, causing more traffic, more headaches as far as that goes, just so you can get your feelings validated. I'm so over it. Just like many other Americans, we are over the nonsense, especially considering, again, you motherfuckers were nowhere to be found when all of this other stuff was happening. No protest. In the state of Illinois, you got the governor out there, the governor in Illinois, that a few years back passed the Safety Act, which ended, which allows ended cashless bails. So it allows people to be released from jail if they are not, or if they're not deemed to be, somebody that's going to cause more harm. But the fact is, they've released more and more people because, or non-detainable offenses. I'm sorry. So they've released more people because of this non-detainable offenses. Like, how is being a sick motherfucking pedophile not a detainable offense? And yet they release them. McHenry County has released a ton. Lake County released a ton. Cook County has released a ton of these people back into society when they are very, very sick in the head. People, I read an article that two gentlemen, came up from Chicago and robbed a whole bunch of Walgreens on their way up into northern Illinois from, I think it was like Lake Zurich, Wakanda, all that. Had like $13 to $20,000 worth of merchandise in their vehicle. Got arrested in Lake County. The very next day, these two gentlemen were out of jail because it's a non-detainable offense, even though they robbed stores. But nothing to see here, folks, right? And of course, that has dropped off the news cycle for that area, and primarily because the suspects didn't fit the fucking narrative. If it was a white person doing it, that would be running through the fucking cycle and time again. But it wasn't. And I'm not going to say what color they were because that's irrelevant. But the fact that I'm saying that if it was a white person, it would be completely different, because it would be, because that's the new narrative. That's the new thing they're pushing. People have been arrested for gun charges, having, and they're not supposed to have guns, released the very next day. They get booked and released. But yet you guys, again, are not out protesting stuff that actually matters, stuff like that. Keeping these criminals in jail where they belong. Because 90% of them, once they get out, they commit the same crime again and again and again with the same, because there's, let's be honest, there's no fear of consequence in the state of Illinois, in the state of New York, in the state of California, and all these Democratic run states like Oregon and all that, because there's no fear of consequences. And yet, again, you won't protest that. Over in Oregon, I think it was a little towards the end of last week, you have people, or Antifa, with their little laser pointers. And you can look it up. Graham Allen, he actually has a video on his social media. So go look up Graham Allen, Dare America podcast. You can go look it up and watch it. They're actually having lasers, pointing them up at the sky to hopefully hit pilots so they fucking crash. And yet, and then they're there to protest the ICE officers and the federal government doing their job, removing illegals. And yet, y'all aren't going to fucking protest that. Because what if one of your loved ones was on that plane and say that plane, the pilot got blinded by those lasers and the plane crashed? Now you lost a loved one because of the degenerates down on the ground doing what they do. And yet, you won't be out there protesting it. You're going to be out there protesting because you don't like Trump, because you were told to not like Trump, because Trump is not a politician. Trump is a businessman, and he's running the country like a businessman. Because the left hates Trump, that makes it easier for you to hate Trump, right? I mean, that's pretty much where we're at with this. Unless you could prove me wrong or tell me differently. And I invite you, email me, drop me a DM and off of Facebook or Instagram, or you can email me at David at thehammerdrops.com. I please explain this to me, because if you have some sort of insight that I don't have from everything that I look into, I implore you, please, 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 please tell me. Let me see your proof. And that's the other thing. You ask to show proof of what's going on. Nobody ever has proof. Nobody has any of that. It's just they try to show you a video that is obviously doctored. Like I said before, everybody knows how to hit that record button when something is happening, but nobody ever knows to hit that record button with what caused that to happen. But we won't talk about that, right? So effectively, your No Keynes protest did absolutely nothing besides waste your time and create more congestion in traffic and piss off more people. So bravo. uh, yeah, I'm sorry, folks, for rambling about that, but this is just something that I mean, let's be honest. This is starting to get tiresome. Like, if I'm all for protesting, if you're protesting for the right cause and something that's actually legitimate. Like I said, when all that stuff was going down in 2020, 2021, when President Biden mandated, mind you, and he was the only president that mandated the jab. And yet you guys weren't out there protesting that. You're out protesting the removal of illegal immigrants or aliens who, mind you, that are either they're removing the criminals or removing all that. And then I think there was one person that said, well, there was a kid, I think this was in Louisiana. I want to say that a family was removed from the country, but ICE gave them and with their kid being sick. Okay. The federal government gave them the option. Do you want to take your child or do you want your child to stay so your child can get the medication and the health care that your child needs? But we're not going to talk about that because they're actually trying to offer that. And to let you know, the mother said, no, the kids will come with us back to, I believe it was Honduras. The kids will go back with us to Honduras. But you want to blame the federal government for forcing that when the federal government actually said that, offered to keep the child here with family or somebody that is here so the child can still get the treatment that they needed. But we forgot to put that in there. It was everything else, but we forget to put that in. Again, it's what fits the narrative that is the most important for you guys. If it doesn't fit that narrative and give you a reason to bitch and complain and whine completely, then it makes no sense. It just makes me laugh. So, yeah. So your No Keynes protest effectively showed only one thing, that you truly hate American citizens. Bravo. Bravo. So yeah, okay. I'm done with, with this whole, I said my piece on this whole No Keynes thing. I think you guys are a bunch of hypocrites because of, it's okay to protest this, but yet you won't protest this because it doesn't fit the narrative. So that's enough of this topic. And hopefully that resonates with some people and makes you fucking think the next time before you decide. But we'll see. I doubt it because, it's funny. I saw they got their little No Keynes like logo. And then I've seen the No Brains logo. I thought that was kind of funny. And it's kind of fitting actually too. But hey. So I hope you guys had a great weekend. And we're able to spend time with your loved ones and just just do what you needed to do, you know, because the work week sucks, as we all know. We never look forward to it. It seems like the weekends go by way too fucking fast. So, on that note, there's something new I am going to be doing now. And, I figure with all of the bullshit that is going on in today's world and in today's society, that we need to take a step back from the negative and try and offer um, something good. Okay. And hopefully I didn't go black there, but we'll see. So today I want to offer something good. I want to offer like a positive to all this. And so what I want to do, I want to honor, those who do heroic, heroism. Let's just put it that way. An act of heroism. So a young man, over in over the pond over there in the UK, he dies after jumping into the river to save a stranger from drowning. Okay. This gentleman, he goes by the name, uh, I'm not even going to try to pronounce it, to be honest with you. It's a 20-year-old who went by the name Jimmy. He was on his way home from work when he witnessed a woman fall off the London Bridge and into the river. Not even hesitating, he and another man jumped into the river a little after midnight to save her. A friend, knowing only as Bernard, was with Jimmy on the night of the accident and recounted the tragic events to Sky News. Bernard recounted Jimmy placing a call to police after they saw the woman fall, telling the dispatcher that they heard a woman screaming, "Help me, help me. I'm going to die." Moments after placing that call, Jimmy made the decision to begin looking for the woman. So both Jimmy and another innocent bystander jumped into the river because, as Bernard said, that's just how Jimmy is. Um, it was pitch black, said Bernard, and he remembered hearing Jimmy shouting his name after losing sight of his friend. When first responders appeared on the scene, they were able to find the woman and the other bystander who jumped into the river. Jimmy, however, was nowhere to be found. Authorities continued to search for Jimmy after the other victims were saved, but as the search was called off about 1:30 in the morning. According to Sky News, Detective Chief Superintendent Oliver Shaw later delivered the tragic news, saying, "We continued to search the shore of the river in person and using our network CCTV cameras, and unfortunately, at 5:46 a.m., a body was discovered." Jimmy's father, Michael, told Sky News he had a very good heart and was a very good son to him. Our thoughts and prayers here at the Hammer Drops goes out to that family for, he risked he risked his life to save somebody that he didn't know. Okay. And that is what we need more in today's world, is more of that. More of caring about people that we don't know and showing being humans, you know. So with that being said, folks, this is where today's show will end. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your time. Also, don't forget, again, you'll find this on every podcast platform. You can find us at the Hammer Drops on all your favorite social media like Facebook and Instagram and TikTok, where we were most active on. Make sure to follow us, like us, leave us a review, leave us a comment on some of the stuff that we post. It's going to help us break the algorithm and get the truth out to everybody. Until the next time, folks, I want you guys to be good to one another and have yourself a great week, and stay tuned for Thursday's show. It should be a good one.